Okay, hey guys, welcome back. I wanna test something. So I've been struggling with time and putting all the clips together. There's obviously a lot that I can be recording and talking about. So just let me know in the comments below if this kind of a long form actually works for you. Yeah, that's gonna be way easier for me to kind of put videos together without spending much time on like post production and so on. So what I want to talk to you today about is how to kick off a front end project, specifically a Next.js project, in a few minutes. And this is targeted towards designers that want to get into assisted or vibe coding kind of a world, or maybe a product manager that wants to go beyond something like Lovable or V0 or any other tool, or even Figma, right? So if you want to try using IDE like Cursor, this is the video for you. And we're going to build something very quickly, and then we will customize something that looks generic to something that looks very, very unique. So anyway, let's get started. So if you are intimidated by an IDE, because this is not your environment, you're used to working in Miro or in Figma, this can be very intimidating. And it used to be very intimidating to me. I've been probably assisted coding or vibe coding for over a year now. And, you know, the first time I have seen error messages in my terminal, I'll get anxious. I wouldn't know what to do. Obviously, you can add that to the chat as well, and Cursor is going to solve everything. And a good practice that I used to do in the beginning was to set a rule in Cursor where it would actually explain to me why this has happened. So I've learned quite a bit about it. Anyway, so if you are intimidated, this video is for you. This is going to get you started very quickly. It is going to give you almost an instant kind of a gratification. Maybe it's going to make you feel like you can do more, which you definitely can. And I will encourage anyone to start doing it. If you're in Figma, if you're just sticking to like an analog way of, you know, pulling in components from the library and you want to try this, this is the best way to start. So anyway, let me close this sample project. I just wanted to show you that there's a lot that once you start building your applications, there's a lot that is happening in a project. So like a folder structure tree, you know, the amount of components, the APIs and so on. Just don't get intimidated. You have to start crawling before you obviously walk. So this is a video for you to start crawling pretty much. It is not intended for a developer because developers will most likely know all of that. Anyway, let me actually jump into where we should really start. Zoom in a little bit here. See if you can actually see more. Okay, so the zoom doesn't work here. Anyway, so shadcn UI. This is going to be your go-to kind of a page, at least in the beginning. Shadcn, as probably you know, is a styled component library that lives on top of Radix UI. Radix UI is a kind of an open source headless library that focuses mainly on accessibility and primitives. They also provide blocks. So like a high level component, maybe a table as an example could be a high level component. What shadcn does, it takes Radix UI headless components and it puts styling, it puts logic and so on. So that's why shadcn is very, very, very popular, because it looks cool. Yeah, it just looks cool. It works as well. So anyway, this is going to be your kind of a homepage for a while at least. What shadcn has done for us is they have prepared quite a lot of what they call building blocks. So those building blocks, as you can see, they have almost all of them will have a sidebar here. They have some kind of a content in the middle as well. In this example, it's a kind of a dashboardy experience with a card layout, some chips as well, nice typography. Then you've got tabs as well with an animated shadcn chart actually. Then we have another tab element here without any content, but that's okay. And we have a table. The table has a drag and drop functionality as well. It has some contextual menus. The pagination also works and so on. So this is what we will use. And the way you use it, it's actually very simple. This shouldn't really be your kind of a, you know, final product, final whatever. But for like quick ideation, I think this is just perfect. This is just perfect because it gives you a huge kind of a huge start when it comes to UI, how good looks, and you know the animations, the icons being set up, and so on. One thing that you can actually do is you can either click on preview, which is going to show you the visual representation, or you can click on code. If you click on code, you will see actually what you actually will get once you install this block in your Next.js application. So there's a lot of components that they have prepared for us. So let's actually start and install it. Okay, we click on this npx command here. So once you click on it, it copies to your clipboard. And now if you go to cursor or whatever ID you want to use, I do recommend cursor. You open cursor, you obviously open the folder. You want the application to be installed. Then yeah, this is how it should look for you. We open terminal. If you click on new terminal, it should open a terminal. Let me rearrange this a little bit. So I've got it on my desktop, YouTube. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to paste that command that we copied from shadcn website. So the npx shadcn latest means that it's going to install the latest version of that dashboard -01 component or a group of components that the shadcn team has prepared for us. And then it is as easy as just pressing enter and waiting a few minutes. So because we don't have a Next.js application set up yet, shadcn and this command actually knows that it needs to install it first. So what you do is you select Next.js. You don't want to select monorepo. This is not for this video. Maybe next time we'll talk about it. So Next.js, then we can name the application as well. Let's say we'll call it CN, and we press enter. And it's creating a Next.js project for us now. You can see that there is a folder created now. Some files are appearing, new folders are appearing as well. And it's going to take a few minutes. I'm going to speed it up. I'm going to cut it so you can see the whole process from start to finish, how long it takes. It doesn't take that long, as long as my internet is okay. We will have a look at a few files in this folder structure as well, because we will have to modify one thing to make it very unique to whatever we want to do, and however we want the prototype to look for us. Because the one problem that I have noticed is when you look at V0 and you just ask, or Lovable, and you just ask for a prototype, they all tend to kind of look very similar. And obviously there's a way around it. People don't do it. People just accept whatever they are being given and just move on. But I do feel like there's way more than you can do and be a little bit more proactive about it, which we will do today. So anyway, you get different colors. They don't really matter. You can just pick natural. Now it's writing the components.json file as well. You don't have to worry about any of this. Just be taken on this journey and enjoy, really, and enjoy. Hopefully there's not going to be any errors. If you get an error, you can obviously ask Cursor to help you out, but there should not be any errors. If there's an error, it's going to be related to dependencies, which are like very easy errors to fix. Anyway, that's cool. Okay, so it's finished. It took a minute or two. It shows you how many pretty much files it has created using that command as well, which is pretty awesome. One thing that you have to remember before you actually launch the application is to navigate to this folder. So you type in change directory, cd, and then cn is the name of the folder. Let me just clear all of this out. And if I were to expand let's see if I can maybe zoom in a little bit. If I can expand the app folder, that's where our pages will live, and that's where we will be adding new pages. And you can see that there's a dashboard folder. A dashboard folder has a page.tsx, and if I click on this file here, so like this file here actually is this whole thing here. Okay, you don't have to understand that. You don't have to remember about this. I'm just going to give you a little bit more context. So this is the page that defines whatever you're going to see in the front end. So anyway, let's actually look at it. You want to see it actually on your local machine. So if I were to type in npm, npm is like a package manager that I use. Npm run dev. Run dev is the command to run the local development environment with this Next.js application. And then you press enter. You should see a few things popping up in the terminal. Yep, okay. So you see that it's running. So it's a Next.js 15 application. It's using TurboPack. Again, you don't have to know what it means. You can if you want, encourage that. and it's running on the local. So if I were to click on the local host, you can either follow the link that's going to open, in my case, Chrome. This is the Next.js application. So if you see here at the top, let me see if I can actually make it bigger. Not really. Okay, that's fine. So it's running on localhost. So this is running locally now. Because the page, the dashboard, was in the app folder, and then there was a subfolder called dashboard, we have to type in dashboard. So if I type in dashboard, what you will see is this page that we just took from shadcn, the block, and it's now running locally on our machine, and we can do whatever we want with it. So this gives you just an amazing start, really, because there's a lot of components that are already pre-installed for you. The styling is really boring, so we will actually change that in the next step. This is where it makes this whole process very, very cool and very unique as well. It all works here. It all works. Pagination works. Let me move my camera a little bit. There you go. The sidebar works as well, as you can see. Obviously, there are no pages here, but hey, get this and start creating pages. Maybe create a theme page, maybe create a reports page using Cursor. Like, you really don't have to code much, well, at all. You just have to type in the prompt and give Cursor the appropriate context, right? So anyway, this looks generic. Anyone can do that. So in the next step, I'm going to show you the coolest probably thing, how you can actually customize the styling to make this a completely different experience. Okay, let me introduce you to TweakCN, which is maybe the second best thing after shadcn. This works with shadcn. It is built for shadcn, and what this allows you to do is actually build a custom theme. But before we do this and we look at the beautiful sliders, toggles, and color pickers that they have, let me actually show you how the theming works if you are not familiar with code at all. So in the Next.js application, and this is going to be a logic that actually implies in kind of many scenarios, Days UI being another, that is using Tailwind CSS. This lives in a CSS file. It's called globus.css in case of Next.js. And these are all the styles that define that. So this is the theme. You can see colors. You can see different colors. You can see the font that is being defined here as well. This is the sidebar ring and so on. So radiuses. This is the configuration that tells the engine, the Next.js engine, how to render your page. So what we will do, we will change that. We will change it for the light theme or light mode and the dark mode as well. Yeah, so all you have to do is customize this. This is the beauty of using Tailwind CSS and the theming logic like you have in Days UI and in shadcn here. So anyway, if we go to TweakCN and we click on Start Customizing, you can look at examples as well. We will spend a little bit of time here, but I'm going to just give you a link in the description so you can go and kind of try it yourself. The UI is pretty awesome. It kind of looks like shadcn. I mean, it is shadcn. The components here in the middle are definitely shadcn. Let me actually maybe hide my camera. Okay, so you can toggle the dark mode as well. I mean, it already looks kind of cool. It's not black. It's kind of not entirely sure what the color is, but anyway, there's a lot of options here. You can click on the code. When you click on the code, what you see here is those are the colors, and these are the different kind of properties that we can set up. And if we were to copy this and paste that into our application, it is going to change the entire look. But hey, this is boring. This is not unique. So what I'm going to show you, which is going to be a little bit crazy, there was one here, which is going to prove my point that you can make this as unique as possible. Yeah, this is the one. Actually, before we do that, let's see what else is here. Maybe there's something even more crazier. I think that one was like the craziest of them all. This one is not nice. This one looks old, but it's called Doom 64. I guess that's appropriate, but we will not use that one. Let's see what else. This is kind of nice. That could work for some business. Okay, this is a mono type of a theme. There's another one with kind of a very defined shadows and so on. Looks kind of cool, I guess. Okay, this is not what we want. we might actually go back to the craziest one and go from there. I mean, you can see that it is just, oh, this is T3 chat. If you don't know Theo on YouTube, I believe this is the theme that he uses in his, yeah, I'm sure this is the theme that he uses in his application, which allows you to use different LLMs. Pretty awesome guy. I'll put a link actually in the description. Pretty awesome guy. He is a, well, he's a business owner, but he used to be an engineer working in different companies, Twitch being one of them. Very cool guy to give him a follow. Anyway, I do digress, and this video is going to be probably way too long. It shouldn't be that long. Anyway, let's go to this. Which one was this? This one, bubblegum. Okay, bubblegum looks pretty cool, I guess. Maybe for a like a kid's website or so on. Not entirely sure. Okay, so what we can do here, actually, we can change all the colors. You can change whatever you want, right? You can change the primary colors. As you can see, it changes automatically here as well. You can change the secondary colors, accent colors. You can modify all of that to your liking or to whatever the brand colors are that you want to create the prototype for, right? So that's how it works. The other thing that you can change, which is also pretty sweet, you can change the font family. So you can change the font family to, let's actually change it to some kind of a mono. Let's pick Roboto Mono here. Let's actually all change to mono fonts. Space mono. Vera code, that should be fine, but actually, for the sake of this example, I'll show you. Okay. Then you can change the letter spacing as well. It's kind of cool because, as you can see, it also updates the theme in the entire website, the Tweak CN website. So that's pretty sweet. Let's actually leave it at 0. Yeah, radius. Radius is another thing that we could customize in the CSS. So if I change the radius, see what happens to the corners. It makes it look very weird. So let's maybe keep this. Let's maybe make it 0. Yeah, let's make it 0. Spacing, you can change the spacing. You can change the shadow. I don't want to change the shadow because the shadow is actually pretty cool. Actually, let's see. Yeah, so this just adds blur. This changes the opacity. We want it at 1, which means like solid. We don't want to change the spread, do we? No, we don't. Yeah, let's maybe make it 0. Cool. Generate is, as you can imagine, is just just an assistant. You can type in whatever you want, and it's going to help you generate your color theme. The other thing that you can actually preview is other shadcn components using this theme. And look at that. This is our dashboard page. This is what it would look like if we were to just copy the styles from here. Okay, and we will do that. I mean, this looks just horrible, but I'm just trying to prove a point that because you're using shadcn, it doesn't mean that your theme needs to look exactly the same as another person's prototype using V0 or Lovable or Firebase Studio or any other, or even Figma Make. They all use shadcn. They all use shadcn. It really matters what you do after, how you customize it. Let me actually see if I can. Yeah, I'm gonna add a little bit of radius. I'm not a fan of the hovers. The edges are too sharp for my liking. So let's actually change that. Yeah, let's make it like this. All you have to do, once you have all this set up how you like it, all you have to do, you can obviously save it for later as well, so you can come back to it. But what you have to do is open the code. So this is the theme. One thing to remember, to pick the correct Tailwind version. So I know that our version is actually using Tailwind 4, so I'm going to show you how that actually looks like. So if you go to package.json, and you don't have to do that, just trust me. If you go to package.json, you will see that there's a Tailwind CSS. It's the version 4 here. It is important because the way Tailwind 3 and Tailwind 4 actually work, there's less setup required for Tailwind 4. So you have to copy certain type of code in different locations. Again, don't care at this point. Just trust me and just do whatever I'm doing here. So anyway, Tailwind 4, the colors, the color type can remain as it is. These ones are going to give you the most saturated colors. And then what we have to do, we have just to copy all of this. So we have our theme. So I'm going to just copy this. It says index.css, but we don't have index.css. We have global. lovable.css. So now that it's copied, I'm going to go back to cursor. We will go to our index dot, sorry, not index, global.css. And what we have to do, we have to remove a few lines from here. The easiest way for you to do that is to click on this chevron down. If you click on the chevron down, it's going to collapse. So it always collapses elements when you click on it. So you have to collapse the theme inline and then the root as well, and then dark. And once it's collapsed, the reason why it's better is because if it's expanded, it's kind of hard, at least in the beginning when you're using an ID, to select the correct code and so on. So I'm just going to select all of these and remove that. It's no longer here. And now what I have to do is just Control V and paste the code from the theme that we have just created. You can see some previews here of the colors. There's a lot of pink and purple, which is kind of awesome. And then Control S, obviously we have to save the change. So now that I saved, I'm going to go back to our local Next.js dashboard and we'll see how it looks. So if we go to our local, there it is. We didn't even have to refresh. And as you can see, this looks completely different, right? Obviously the functionality remains as is. The charts work as they should, but it looks completely different. It doesn't look pretty. Maybe there's a use case for this somewhere. But again, it all works. It gives you the power really to customize whatever you want to customize your theme to. And yeah, just don't be lazy like most people are and then just generate a generic page that uses generic shadcn components and the default theme, and that's it. Nothing wrong with that for early prototypes and bouncing off ideas. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to make this a little bit more unique and maybe a little bit more kind of on your brand, whatever the brand is that you have, you can use your brand colors and, you know, it can look way better. So that is it. I'm going to put links to all the websites. I'm going to put a link to the Tweak CN website, which is pretty amazing. Go explore, get your shadcn block installed, create a Next.js application, and yeah, start building. Don't just rely on this dashboard. Start adding new pages using cursor. It is as easy as giving enough context to cursor. It doesn't need that much. It's gonna crawl through all the code base in your Next.js application. It's gonna know what to do. So don't worry about it. And yeah, that is it for today. Let me know. This is gonna be probably a long video. I'm gonna put a timestamp if you want to just jump into the demo and how to set it up. But anyway, I want to spend as little as possible time when it comes to post-production, cutting, because that takes way too long. I have a day job. I don't have anyone that can help me with that. So let me know in the comments below if this kind of a form works, or you want this to be a little bit more dynamic, a little bit shorter, and so on. I want to add as much value as possible. I know there's a lot of anxiety, especially when you are a designer or maybe you're a product manager. You have no idea how to work with an IDE. So yeah, at the same time, I think it is important. If you want to position yourself in a different way than majority does, especially if you are a designer, just remember, anyone can put in a prompt. Like anyone can add context in Figma Make or V0 and so on. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to stand out, you want this to, this kind of a AI and this period that we are currently in, help you out, maybe, move you up in your career ladder or whatever your ambition is, do the hard stuff as well. Don't rely on just a chat interface that everyone can do, right? Anyone can do that. Not everyone will be able to do this, and then do the next steps like committing repos to GitHub and so on. So we can look at it in the next video. Anyway, I've been talking way too much. So thanks for watching. Put in a comment, put in a like, dislike, whatever. You love it, you hate it. I'm here to help. So yeah. So thank you, and I'm going to see you in the next one.